We are also working on other legislations that would promote investment in upstream petroleum subsector, and we want everyone's support so that we get all these legislations through. From 2017 to date, the licenses were FAR Petroleum, which was a joint venture, the British Petroleum, BP, and Petroleum. A summary of their activities are hereby outlined. FAR was assigned 80% of Block A2 and A5 licenses in 2017, following a farm-in agreement with Erin that held the remaining 20%. In 2018, Petronas was subsequently assigned 40% of FAR sales in Block A2 and A5. This was followed by the 20% to government. BP was granted Block A license in 2019, which BP surrendered in September 2021 due to a change of their corporate strategy to clean and green energy. Petroleum was granted a license in 2020. This was part of a settlement of the arbitration with African Petroleum, which restored A4 license to Petroleum, who took over from Africa Petroleum. FAR and BP conducted geological and geophysical, geotechnical, environmental studies. FAR and Petroleum drilled 2 wells in fulfillment of their license obligations. Petroleum has conducted geological, geophysical studies, fulfilling its license obligations, which exclude drilling of a well. Therefore, all these 3 companies complied with the terms and conditions of their licenses, including support to our communities as part of their corporate social responsibility. 2021, respectively, both FAR and Petronas exited the A2 and A5 licenses. After submitting all the necessary documents, information, and records, the Ministry issued closure certificate to FAR. The total revenue of about $70 million and 72,647 was received from 3 license holders between 2017 to date. We are currently at an advanced stage of engagement with companies interested in acquiring licenses on other oil blocks, and the negotiations are well advanced. The Gambia National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, through its Exploration and Production Department, has exercised its mandate to participate in petroleum operations, specifically in the area of onshore exploration. As part of this effort, an official proposal to acquire a license for the onshore exploration block in the Gambia was submitted by GNPC and has now moved to the next phase of the project. Finally, negotiations with the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy using the Model Petroleum Exploration and Production License Agreement for the onshore areas remain underdeveloped, and we have less data coverage than offshore areas. And therefore, GNPC's work program will involve the de-risking of the basin by acquiring preliminary and basic data to kickstart modern data acquisition along interested future partners. We are also happy to report that we are also part of the Africa Gas Pipeline Project. The intergovernmental agreement and the host government agreements were finalized and adopted by ECOWAS heads of state on the 15th of December 2024. The 5,600 kilometer Nigeria to Morocco gas pipeline project will pass through the Gambia and other West African countries along the Atlantic coast. And we expect this to cost, the entire cost of the project will be about $25 billion US. GNPC continues to participate in this prestigious African Atlantic gas pipeline project and steering committee meetings. Previously, site selection was done for the location of the landfall, which is going to be located in Sanya, where we also have our deep sea project. deep sea port project expansion. And this will help in terms of logistical support and also economic benefit to the country when fully implemented. And we also have another alternative in terms of the landing site, which is going to be in Batukun as an option. Government has a deliberate policy in expanding petroleum supply networks countrywide. And as such, NPC has been tasked by the government of the Gambia to take this drive and expand its operations in most part of the country. And as such, JNPC has already commissioned two new stations. These are state-of-the-art containerized mobile stations, and it puts JNPC in the forefront of technology in the marketing of fuel in the Gambia. JNPC Kanifing service station, which was demolished during the construction of the Battle Harding Highway, is now reconstructed and in full operations since September 2024. JNPC has an internally developed automated coupon system, which is one of the best in the market. The coupon deactivates sold coupon times circulation of printed coupons. The energy sector and basically NAWEC activities, which is more centered around the clarion call by His Excellency to provide universal access to electricity before the end of 2026. Government targets universal electricity access by 2026, end of 2026, and we hope to achieve 90% coverage by the end of 2025. We are developing a compact program for the support, through the support from the World Bank and African Development Bank with other philanthropic organizations under the Mission 300 agenda to provide access to 300 million people in Africa before 2030. You might want to know that in sub-Saharan Africa, almost above 600 million people are without power. And because of that, World Bank, African Development Bank with other partners have come together and launched a mission to electrify minimum 300 million people before the SDG 7 comes to an end, which is 2030. And as such, we are also lucky to be selected as part of those countries that are also going to benefit from this compact program. So together with the World Bank, we have developed our compact program, and which was validated, and currently World Bank, and we hope this will be taken to the board in September, and we hope it will be approved so that we start implementations as settled. We are very lucky. Under his leadership, His Excellency President Barrow is committed also to provide additional local financing up to the tune of about $500 million to electrify some of the unelectrified communities in some of the consequences that have not got full qualification, such as Nyamina East, Nyamina West, Lower Fladu, Lower Salum, and Upper Salum. These are communities that were also partially electrified, and we have committed some local funds from now against 2026 to be able to cover the remaining communities in these consequences. We are promoting the development of mini-grids in hard-to-reach areas such as Jinak. We all know it's an island. There is no electricity in that community, and also the extension of the power line would be impossible because there is UNESCO designated area, and that we cannot pass through with the power line into that area. And as such, we have to look for a mini-grid. We have already secured funding through the UNDP, and we hope this project will be implemented this year as well. And the people of Jinak will also see, for the first time in the history of their lives, electricity during the presidency of President Barrow. We are also targeting other communities, including Juwara in Wulli. Of course, I'm not biased. I'm from Wulli. This was identified. I was not aware of it, so I hope nobody will blame me. This will add to the existing mini-grids in Nyamanar, Sare Demba Toro, and efforts are at high gear to secure funding for the extension of the 225 transmission line from Jarasoma to Basse, which we call the Eastern Part 1. And that will help us significantly. If we are able to achieve that, that means we can have a national grid. So you can send power from Greater Banjul area all the way to Basse, and vice versa. In the area of clean cooking, the government plans to develop clean cooking strategy that is gender responsive and driven by private sector, aimed at increasing the national clean cooking access rate from the current 2% to 15% by 2030. And efficient cooking stoves to all the regions as part of our climate mitigation and adaptation strategies. This is complemented with the distribution and promotion of LPG and electricity for cooking by utilizing energy-efficient electric cookers. We are also working very hard to reinforce our transmission and distribution, both within the Greater Banjul area and also in the provinces. We are all witness to the recent inauguration of the first 225 kilovolt that is funded through the World Bank, EIB, and European Union, and was commissioned by His Excellency the President just early this year. And this is going to enable NAWEC to be able to dispatch electricity to the Greater Banjul area with quality, and also help us to reduce losses and the opportunity to increase our renewable energy share of our energy mix. Because if we don't have a stable network, it is going to be impossible for you to use a lot of renewable energy, particularly solar, which is a variable energy. It varies. If there is no sun, for example, or there's a cloud cover, normally we experience significant drops. So if that occurs and you don't have a network that is resilient, that is robust, sometimes you face a lot of instabilities, and we are very glad that we are able to achieve this during the presidency of His Excellency President Barrow. Together with this infrastructure, we also have the state-of-the-art National Control Center for the first time in the history of this country, where our network can be monitored remotely from a location. And we are grateful, Your Excellency, for giving us the opportunity and also to witness this during our time. We have been clamoring for this infrastructure, and it cannot come at a better time than when we are also yearning to achieve universal access. We thank our donors, particularly the World Bank, EU, and EIB, for their continued support to the sector. The restoration, modernization, and distribution network has tremendously advanced across all regions of this country. The OIC Electricity Enhancement Project, which was launched in November 2020, is progressing very well. This is about $10 million that we got as a grant funding from the Saudi Fund. And this is going to help us to upgrade our Bigelow substation, which is currently overloaded. The substation there is within a broad area, and the demand is very high, and that's the more reason why, even if we have the generation capacity, sometimes in the evenings we load set some of the areas, simply because the power transformer is now overloaded. The demand is higher than the capacity of the transformer. So the project that is coming under the OIC support is going to double the capacity from 10 MVA now to 20 MVA, and that will definitely cater for the future. With our efforts, we have a number of access projects in these three regions. In addition, we also benefited from the ECOWAS Renewable Energy Access Project, which we call ECORI. This project is providing access to over 395 communities, 103 in CRR, 85 communities in LRR, and 115 communities in the North Bank region and 92 communities in the West Coast region. A total of about 395 communities are going to benefit, and these communities are going to get their electricity commissioned, inshallah, by December 2025, including Njogon. So this project, almost about 52,000 households will be connected. We also have another project called JIP. This is funded through the African Development Bank. A total of about 47 communities are going to be electrified. And these projects are all ongoing as we speak. In CRR, 111 communities are going to be electrified through this project. North Bank region, 27, West Coast region, 9. And a total of over 10,000 households will also benefit from this. And this was the first commission in Kia. And this was in 2020. And you know, His Excellency, before the commission of the project, he was always telling me, Nani, please make sure they have electricity. And we promised him, Kiang will be electrified, and indeed Kiang is electrified. As we speak, all the Kiangs, Kiang West, Kiang Central, Kiang East, are all connected. The network from Kalaji all the way to Soma is connected. Now if you drive through Kiang, we have poles in the history of this country. So the Kiangkas are no more going to Soma to buy ice block. They are getting now ice block in their own homes, backyards. So this is a great achievement for the government of the day. To enhance electricity transmission and distribution infrastructure within the Greater Banjul area and beyond, thereby increasing access and reliable, efficient electricity. The electricity master plan was developed in 2021 to 2040, which was developed in 2017 initially, and it was updated, and now it's from 2021 to 2040. This was factored in the required energy capacity from imports and local generation. We are diversifying our generation by adopting renewable energy sources, which culminated in the construction of our first utility-scale 23 megawatt solar plant in Jambur. This is the reality. Gambia, like all other countries, we are all transitioning. We all want to move from our dependence on fossil fuel to renewables, so that we can make energy cheaper for our people. We are all complaining the cost of energy as end users. But if we continue the same mode of production as we were doing since independence, the cost of energy will never go down in this country. And that's the more reason why the focus has now shifted, like all other countries, to now move towards renewables. And that's why we are lucky to get funding from the World Bank, EIB, and EU to have our first utility-scale 23 megawatt solar plant in Jambur, and which was commissioned in February 2024 by His Excellency President Adama Barrow. In order to upscale our renewable share of our energy mix, we have also launched a 50 megawatts solar IPP tender. And as we speak, it has been evaluated, and we hope we should be able to sign the contract before the end of this year. And if that contract is signed before the end of this year, we will also launch another tender for 100 megawatts to be located within the same area, which is going to be in Jarasoma, because that is very close to the OMVG substation, and it will be easier to from the plant to the grid from that substation with minimal cost. And the land has already been secured. We are working hard to make sure the necessary compensation is paid as well. So we'll be asking for Honorable Keto support. One of the flagship projects, which is the EcoRed, I have already said this before, is providing access to almost about 395 communities. And this is part of the broader ECOWAS support to all the ECOWAS member countries, not all ECOWAS member countries, but the Gambia Mali, Guinea-Bissau. These 3 countries have been identified. We were lucky. All the money that we received for the project, which is about $66 million US, all came as a grant. So this is helping. Most of the projects that we are implementing are all grant funding. And as such, we will continue to push to achieve this universal access as directed by the President. Updates, I'll now move to water, because I don't want to forget. This is NAWEC. It's not only about electricity. On the water side, waterfront, we have a number of projects. The rehabilitation of water and sanitation network project, which is also funded through the OIC. OIC gave us about $22.5 million to help improve the water supply situation within the Greater Banjul area. And we call it OIC. This project is going to have a treatment plant in Sanyang, and we build a water storage tank in Sanyang of a capacity of 1,500 cubic meters, and also in Saladi. And these projects are ongoing right now. Construction works are ongoing, and we hope we should be able to conclude these projects by the end of the year, if not early part of 2026. We also have another support from the French Development Agency, and this project was already the foundation was led by His Excellency the President in May of this year. And this is going to be located, this treatment plant is going to be located in C4. And a number of boreholes have already been drilled to support this project. And this will help significantly in improving the water supply situation, not only in the Kombosat area, but also in the Greater Banjul area, including Kem and Banjul. Under the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, the World Bank has also supported in the water sector. Of course, not as big as in the electricity, but to drill 14 boreholes, 10 of which is currently being done in the Greater Banjul area. All the boreholes have been drilled, and in the next few weeks, they'll all be commissioned, and this will help to bolster the water supply within the Greater Banjul area as well. And they have also supported in drilling 3 boreholes in the North Bank region, and also 1 borehole in LRR. In total, about 16,915 households will benefit from this project in the West Coast region, and 3,667 households in the North Bank region will benefit, and 1,833 households, respectively, in the Lower River region will benefit. The project is almost about 95% complete, so we hope this will be commissioned very soon. His Excellency will have a lot of work to do in 2026, because we'll just be inaugurating and inaugurating and inaugurating. Now I'll move to the Geological Department. The government has signed a prospecting license agreement with a Norwegian Gambia mining company to explore polymetric nodules within the Gambia Exclusive Economic Zone, which has started in earnest. This initiative holds strategic importance for the nation, as a successful identification and potential exploitation of this deep sea mineral resource could significantly enhance national revenue, diversify and mineral resource base, and promote sustainable economic growth. Right now, we are at the prospecting stage. They have not yet started the exploitation. So currently, they are doing the surveys, the investigations to know whether the quantity of the nodules that we have in our EEZ. And after all the analysis, we will work on the licensing proper, which will be the exploitation. But as we speak right now, it's only exploration. Sand dredging, licensing, and resource management. The department has has made considerable progress in regulating sand dredging operations through structured licensing process. Key efforts include demarcations, which serve as effective mineral resource management strategies. These systems provide a clear framework for sand dredging prospecting, allowing licensing companies to concentrate their activities within the designated area with high potential, thus promoting enhancing regulatory oversight. Dredging became prominent after the successful operation of Sino Major, which invested around the Denton Bridge. The ministry has been able to meet the growing national demand for construction sand while ending sand mining along the coastline. This has supported ongoing infrastructural development projects across the country, ensuring stable and reliable supply of this essential construction material. And let me just report that from 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, we have seen an increase in demand for construction sand, which is a real testimony that there is development going on in the country. On average, the demand was almost about 420-something thousand cubic. Today is over 1 million. And that's a significant increase. This is not only supporting the infrastructure development, but it's also providing the needed revenue that have been paid to Gambia government, which is also helping government to take care of some of our society, supporting our health facilities, supporting our schools. So the energy sector, the mining sector, the petroleum sector are critical in supporting government in its socio-economic drive. And as such, we at the ministry have committed ourselves to help government reduce its dependence on only donor support to be able to have a revenue base that can also support our development agenda. So we'll continue to support government development agenda, and we will ask the support of everyone so that these efforts can come to fruition. The major challenge that we face as a ministry is the issue of illegal sand mining. We have stopped mining activities on our coastlines because the environment has already been destroyed. If you go there, it's an eyesore. And that's why government took the decision since 2023 to ban sand mining on the coastline from Bigelow all the way to Kato. It is illegal for anyone to go to those beaches and extract sand. But this is a serious challenge today that all of us are facing as a government. People are illegally going there at night, and they are continuing to mine on our beaches, further destroying our environment. So we are appealing to everyone to support the ministry, the government, in combating this menace, which is only benefiting few at the expense of the majority, which is not fair. In conclusion, the ministry remains committed to transparency, sustainable resource management, and creating an attractive environment for investors. The government will continue to create the enabling environment for private sector participation through reforms and regulatory strengthening. We remain committed to delivering reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy as a catalyst to job creation, improve livelihood, and inclusive economic growth. After 60 years of our independence, we are committed to end the use of hurricane lamps and candles in our homes and replace them with reliable and affordable electricity supply as directed by our President. Let us continue working together to build a resilient and energy-secure Gambia. I thank you.
The petroleum component of the sector alone is huge enough, and that can even take 2-3 hours of presentation. Now you come to energy, which has to do with both water and electricity and mines. But I'm happy that he was able to do a good job in summarizing all the good things they've been doing. I think there's rapid progress in our electricity expansion. Now, before we proceed to call on the PS will give you maybe 10 minutes to summarize all that has been said in the local language. We'll acknowledge the presence of a few honorable ministers. We have Honorable Minister Hamad Nkeba, Minister for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs. Welcome, Honorable Minister. Today I'm surprised. We have a almost full cabinet here today. So thank you, Honorable Minister, for your support. We also have the Chief of Staff of the President and also the Minister responsible for the Presidency. Honorable Maud Casey is also here with us today. We have some friends who are also here today to participate in the Mansa Kunda. Our friend from Nigeria, representative of the Nigerian Embassy, no, the Nigerian High Commissioner is here today. Welcome, my brother. Thank you for your usual support. We have also a representative from the Sierra Leonean High Commission as well, also here with us today. But also we have reps from the Turkish Embassy, the Embassy of the Republic of Turkey. They are here today also to take part in this Mansa Kunda. We want our bilateral partners, but also our multilateral donor partners to be attending the Mansa Kunda because they give us a lot of support. As we heard the testimony, the People's Republic of China is investing a lot. Turkey is investing, Nigeria. We have a lot of work to do. Recently, I think Nigeria sent, 20-something technical staff to come and support the Gambia. So you are partners in development. That is why we always appreciate if we see you attend some of our programs. So before anything else, I'd like to call on the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Cisse, it's Cisse.
Now we want to have a good camera Kunda. Good evening to our honorable ministers, my colleague permanent secretaries, directors general and managing directors, other senior officials here present, and also to the general public, the audience there. 10 minutes to summarize a good job. I'll try. I'll give it a try. Thank you. Okay. Mbadi mbal konton na. Te kana menke waleng. Minister kuma kome fu angale kamala. Jibe ma futandila mani kakam mwela ngani suwa mwela. Minister dia mo kumasi konton dirol la. Ko minister mel bijang ani banko mol ani buntawol na tan de. Kabay be konton anata tandiko Lua, Petroleum Exploration Development and Production Act, ko 2004 akita luati, wale sembo di Ministerial, ka laisino di company la, ka turo la ko jibe banko kan jang. Padawoto, anata ndiko Petroleum Commission law, ko loi men fane wolo wala 2021 Petroleum Commission Act, pour ka nindo ko jibe. Mais marata tulola ni wala ba ko kono ani pira fana même fana be lori ka turi Petroleum product act fana ka jibe essence wafo mais ke ba ko fa ka kenyame to le fana ka ko jibe in 2017 Minister Makoro Soto from African Legal Support Facility membe African Development Koto ka laisino ni kama ko kadida ni kam wata ka di men solo ka do ko la do ko kamala ni be do ko kala e ka seismic survey leke ka data so daje wala ke ma koy pour kalon membe banko maka jiko so ko fembide ni ma e kana company kana pour ka prononcer o prononcer mo fana ni oke foi ba tulo jela foi tajela o fana ba ko fola atandi ko ko lolu le sinsa kabri 1960 kana 2021 ko lolu lol ko fulo asinta 1960 ani 1961 sabanjao ko sinta 1979 and chevron leo was in fulo men sinta brikama wan sero kundawan 1960 and 61 BP British Petroleum o leo kolonsi au kabru Chevron ye kolonsi offshore wala bakono me marketing ngokan kabra boto wala kolon ne man sing Gambia jam for Kabrim Fa Petronas, sing in 2018. 2018, you column following, see, you got the summer one, and Fulajan, Bambo one in 2021. The Mentanico, Kabrim 1960, Colomman Sing, for 2018, His Excellency President Barola Marokono. Watandiko, President Barola Marokono, Katokawul Ketale, for Column Fula Center, Memans in Sagitam, Sabaning, Kabrim Science one. Yo atani fananko na dollar men so pro ka lashino di dollar sale bare sa kilin ron les mos compagnie so do même budget et for license noni o petro no le do yo anata tani fananko jani wo na license so di no BP la na di fa petronas la ani petrono bare ñu BP ni fa petronas sai wol mantara ni banko kam e nyanta men kala yawo kele fo fa banta sa petrono wala bijam e fo license no wala bulu fa petronas kabila do boke e kolon fulol sing nata tandiko to continue la koteke eni la license no bari nyanta men be kala no la license no men dira wato kono yawo kele e nata license no nata e fonyo wolto sa bari kabri e fonyo femfe alon ko wala kayit ko ti do ko ani information me alon ko sola tala nga jelo ko ya be dire janni avec close certificate dire la wala ka tan ko sai abantale nyata me be kala ya kele sai fenten ni tema yo ala tan ni fanan ko soto men keta nyin do ko to kabrin 2017 wato mena president his excellence president Barrow Bakota wala nyata US dollar o wili taworo wala ni fula ani keme woro tan nani woro wala soto nafulo do million wala soto ni nafulo sabi
apa ni angkara kawale mana kamu ambedia
okay sorry 70,000 that is there, but I think I'm being corrected, it should have been a million. So maybe it's a very bold for okay, thank you. So you got a little bit, many of us have a million water. Really, water in Fula, Keme Waro, Tanani Waro, dollar, American dollar, Kudo, Wole Sota, governing President Barrow Mankota and inside him. So, Moto, and Atata Nico, sign GNPC la ko GNPC fana be do ko ni kata ko keka kaje ko fana ye da do nying sansi ni ko to sai ye dulal men di la wala tinto kam ni masakunda bo kacha kanne be kacha folo tedale sai be da ben to sammi be kambe na ko kaje ko fana ye la sino so ko ko commence la rata ni fana ko African gas pipeline bona Nigeria kata ko so no keda ko na batinda essentiel ni gas wala ko sambonya be sonela ba koltema kabo Nigeria kata fu Morocco ani tubabu fanala o kamala nata tandi ko dulal tandi yitandile o pipeline no daf dala dame do wala sañal kaje ko ani poro expansion par exemple yemen duran mamme sañam banko ka kaje wolbe fala ñola ñame pour ka do ko ñu sonandi e wala dula folo bar dula fala ñaw fana ka fa ba do ko fana mbiyen na tara dula folo ma betea sa e ba do ko fana mbiyen pra que dula fala ñaw atani fana ko GNPC be ila do ko kafukane katara banko la dula mumeto wo kamala dinata petrol station fula yewol yele esau ani base tundol la bari be do ko ba kan fatake e la Fajara service station mi alon ko ka ribe sene de dala hadi hadi highway ni dulani ya tiano bar sa ya de da kule o fana do ko commencer na tata ni fana ko GNPC ya système o ka coupon système ka tiketo le di pour essentiel ka sanne ya tiketo di ni futa essentiel pour essentiel soto ka tan ko GNPC même fana beke be data bakel ajonte banko ka ni mbodo do kata courant la ma fon la nawek atandi fananko His Excellency President Barrow alama sakunda ya tandi ko elafta gambe dulamu me ye courant soto yin sanna la 2026 bare do ko ni kata ko ba ke kanne me atandi ko be kemo kono sidi la tan kono to do sotolale janni yin sawo be banda inshallah o do ko fana bakana nan kata ko anata itandi ko e programme fana do be ka fo compact programme wo World Bank ani African Development Bank itelle go ko koma nyindung inata men je ko mo million keme saba nani Africa tundo kan ilafta programme tan la wala ma yo kamala inata Gambia fana tombon Gambia fana dabo ko kono an so do ko fana kanne o kata ko kanne jam fatato le kay dol me be nyanta pare pour o fana ketale inshallah bodo ko fana timmandi la yo anata tan ni fana ko His Excellency President Adama Barrow la Maroka kono anata fo alama so kundaye ko mol sema ko nyaaw nyaay fana se meke no yoke bawo na tundo dol je kroma futaje mon sa funda fana nata tay fama ay million keme lulu me ko wole londi la pour kaaje ko kroma futata e dulal ma so do wo dulal wala lowa fuladu nyamina east nyamina west lowa salum ani upa salum bado fananto anata itandi ko dulal bije membe ko jinak courant la futo je abe pale ala sa nyanta fen lo men ko mini grid wala sa e dolbe fansun courant soto no le fawene bare membe me alon ko wala melbo soto na fulo ni menyanta du noto ngawo soto le kabo UNDP bulu so do kol ba pour gaje ko fana soto la dulal me fana bu ko jawala o fana bo e fansun courant la dedale bare nyi sifa na ke nyama narile anin sara dem ba toro yo abijele ka tandi ko process soto no soto nyala na ma kenale so mbol wata je ka tandi ko courant fanan ka bondi dula ni ka somba dula doto ka mel londi ka oke wala transmission line yinti 225 kV line yo inaugurate no amammi president Barrow yo inaugurate lafto ñoo sambala ka bo soma kata basse fana ko fana ben ferro mel landi du ka oke anata itandi fanan ko to ñaalen tabiro ke kele banko kam an musolle kawoke baake o tabiro e ka sinkirol menta ko ka tabiro ke amon bete yana jata kendo do jata kende yata o kamala masukunda le ferol ni sirol londile me alo ke bajende la ko musol la janto fanan e bo jibe la ko kono anin to ni daaye ke je ka ke ko clean cooking access wala sirol tabir law me alo ko ite batake la natina musol kan so sifal natina banko ka wa kamala efficient cooking stoves 200,000 wala wili kemefula wala ñoo di da banko kan ñin santambila so no bataje nata tandi ko do ko be banko kan ka prof tandi dula beto e atandi ko projet ko me bo ke kan wala njam ekori ni di electricity expansion project ani jim wal kamala o projet gol be community willy killing keme killing ani fulay bolle e ba jala ko wolle pronso do banko ka melbe tundol to CRR URR NBR LRR West Coast and West Coast region and so do ko fana mbakan ne ani ba jala ko dani sawo banna dula jama be pronso da an ko tundol la ya jele say bolol ni judo be siti kan ko proud ni molla ko mi dal fana be di kam molla le mi tama ko danaka fembe ka jo men ka jo wala kemelu wala application fee nawe ya jama jono mun tama ko me soto ta kadi masa kundala wo kamala ina taje ko mital mol manyana fen jola je wala na mu mol ka mita soto kemelu la so bebe kata president Adama Barrow la marola ko anata ita kata 24 boye ferol le landi kaje ko ñim pro ni dogo bebe ke ka be kala nyame ani nakata fanal pro be continue ka soto gambe nyame njam ate batake o ko mala solar plan 23 megawatt ya o do ko kele fo jura jambu o be nawe sa be ker nya o be nawe be o e be pro di kan ka bo solar plan do anata tani fanal ko tenna menke 50 megawatt wala megawatt tallu solar IPV o fana mbakane sambi mba kumfala ninga kumfa ni company me yo wosoto o fana mbedo ko kala kaje ko wo 50 megawatt yo nati banko ka no wot bataje be megawatt keme fanan nati la banko ka ani megawatt tan nani o fanan be silo kan ni company bo do ko kan o nyimbe ga fo me bes wala battery storage system kaje ko battery ya la ko fanan senyin solar cementia ibaje la ko ani suto le fanan mu an kiloma so da fanan courant se continue no kasoto ka di molla tabra bato tada jiola ko ay tandi ko duku jamale be kekal pour kaje ko jio futata molla o kamala transmission distribution line o ibo duku kanne ani bo holol fanan be sinkanne durata tari santela bankol fanan bo holol be sinkanje o project gol wala OIC water project the water supply project in Kiribati area ka fay wasip me aloko president of na yo tolole amamme sifo sate ko tani fana jam project fana do makoro ke kan jiol la ma fon la le ni no futala mo jamal la nyim banku ka na tani fana ko nin geology fana ko do ko kele geology la do ko kurebe ke kan jamme mu nena ba jeti wala ko lasino dita pour kata ba kono jibe kaje ko soto fo ni muna fo ben bije procès banko nafa ko kiskisiro ba ke kanne nyin tembento an diko bije la ko o soto fo na fo makoro kala ba ke banko e and wol kono wala ngani batiyon men fote e de dara mel ke de da i solata fo men na je wol fana do ko kono jele sand dredging wala nka kenyo bondi bakono aftandi ko membe keru nunga kenyo bondi tinti wala kam o yeti nyaar jamana tin na danda wala o kamala nata masakuna nata fero landi yo ko sai ka kenyo bondi bakono tawri wo kala naka lasino di sino majila jal bakla nyaaji be dentim bridge to lebe nu je ka kenyo bondi bakono tabri yo je gaje ko o atata nyamale sai na ta license sabab bola di ko la pour gaje ko kenyo kana fo kenyo na nyimbanko ka to adum be aje do ko be keri banko ka o kambala kenyo kamenke banko la nyaata ta na fa mbero no ta nyim fero ni lebe lari ani be do ko la data ni fanan ko be continuer la ka nyini diroke mineral mel be nyimbanko ka an ko kamala ni compagnie jamale be do ko la kaje ko do nyini ndiro ko continue wala pour ga fam na fam wala ko kamala ya tandi ko kumo kum fadula ya tandi ko bala danda wala gombe ka bije ko de bari a continue ta mol ba ke ka ani mantra ke ka silola ka tandi ko ni mo moje o ma fon le be ken yola ko le ma so kundale bula wala yo be nyo ma koy banku din kende yakan kaje ko musi fa ko aydan kanake inshallah yo so kum fadula tandi ko ala ministry ni Mansa Kunda ila ngajelal ko nimbenna soto fewo marala silo la mealon ko transparency la wala komi kaje ko mba maraka nyame ku para mawo akana no kunje wo kanne ani kaje ko mel kana investor mel bina jang pour ka do ko ke banko kan fana yaaje ko Mansa Kunda luwan ni sato melanda abe na fala le ko e sirna sa differential na wo do ko ke banko kan ja yo wo kamala ana ratandi ko ni sajita woro kabri independent la yaaje ko mol ka lampol soto mena ni kura lampo ani kura lampo ni lampol sondolo le kamelta bu na ko dal ko lafta way dam wo kamala His Excellency President Adama Barrow ayatandala ko alafta kura futa dolar beto wala tinna kabra futa takiya o kidaye ku dima baldi ka kabra Mansa Kunda ta futa ka atandala ko lafta kur kiyaye kura soto so
tipa garage bu nekk boori Salaj am na guddi time in intelligence rek ba day am information from the coast as well léegi-léegi ñu jël seen nataal time bu ñu dee dem mooy time after 8 o'clock 9 o'clock gars yi dajale si kanam tuuti rek by midnight dañoo jaar si yoon yu xam ne moom is not a highway am na seen own yoon yu xam ne moom dañ ko créer ci boori bëj bi foofu la gars yi day jaar balaa suba balaa in the morning rek fekk gars yi def leen seen illegal activity ñu génn the same time sooy ñëw liggéey sax around 8 o'clock da ngaa gis boy si yooyu ñu xam ne ay pellen di am ñu wàcce si moto ñu ngi ñibbi ban time la gars yi liggéey moom day wàcca yëpp illegal sax may la te ministry alone mun koo safa mënuñ koo control ñëpp including the communities this is happening with this problème buy am communities ñooy njëkk a am seen challenge problème ñoom seen boppa ñoo war a taxaw ñu dimbal nguur pour problème bi ñu mën a ko solve ñun ñëpp bi mën a nekk si bëj bi man mënumaa nekk si bëj bi from morning to evening police yi duñ fa mën a nekk all the time but the people are seeing those trucks ñu ngay gis trucks yi every day ñu ngay jëlee si bëj yi foog ñu dimbalante rek waaye problème boobu mu ngi fa te suñ lifi ne suñ conscience la so we are appealing to everybody to help yi fi diw am naa every day su may julli boobu laa dee ñaan yàlla ah dama dee jël suma time bi ñaan rek xam naa président bi loolu la dee def waaye pour leeral mbir bi daal gas nañ ay teen si géej ba waaye ba tey amuñ diw bu xam ne mun nañoo wax ne am nañ diw amanguñ ko discover ko gas nañ teen waaye lu mu fa gis dafa mel ni misaali diw rek waaye loolu taxul nga ne ko diw laa am mun naa koo jaay soo wax boobu wax ngelaw la ok amut moo tax ñu ngi yokkat suñ effort pour ñu attract xam nga gis nga oil exploration dafa seer pour mun a drill benn well rek mun ngaa spend not less than 30 million and over boobu pour gas rek benn $1 million sa benn activity sax in 1 year can go almost about 100 close to $1 million dafa seer nguur mënu ko compagnie yu mag rek ñoo mën a ñëw fii dimbala ñu laaj ñu exploration ñu am ci Sénégal ak yeneen countries Ghana, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, all others. International companies ñoo international oil company ñu am xaalis ñu am dollars ñoo mën a def lii so ñun lu ñoo mën a def mooy maquette ba pare yokka suñ investigation to make sure that data bu ñoo am suñ ko wanee suñ la ko wanee te nga nekk international oil company di nga gis sign nga xam ne moom technically di nga wax ne bii moom jar na pour ma ñëw te su loolu leen nekk so tey am na ay compagnies ñoo xam ne moom ñu ngi ñëwaat dañ demoon bi ñu amee Covid am na compagnie yu bari yi fi exploitation bàyyi nañ waaye affaire bi moom dafa ceeñaat léegi xëy na yàlla dinañu dimbal ñun tamit ñu am suñu koy rek suñ ko amee yàlla ñu yàlla mu jëriñ la ba mu gën a am solo because am na kon yoo xam ne am nañ diw de waaye ba tey macha allah waaye ñun suñu bopp macha allah dinañu njëriñ incha allah. I don't want to be speaking on everything. I'll allow the director of geology to respond to that, if you don't mind.
The mic is there. Yeah.
Can you speak from?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, dafa am yoon yoo war a jaar soo buggee mining Lansing or quarrying Lansing dañ am ñaari fànn mining am na ak quarrying waaye Gambia fii yëpp lañ dee wax mining su dee quarrying la normally prospecting du fa dee nekk luy prospecting mooy gestu because like sand gravel bi is outcrop ñu ngi koy gis doo ko dee gestu already xam nañ mu ngi fa like duun si waaye su dee mining la like or dredging boobu nekk loo xam ne da nga ko dee gis loo njëkk a def mooy da nga war a apply lu ñuy wax prospecting or exploration boobu fànn pour research do di research pour gestu xam ñaata moo fa nekk of minerals su dee xam nga ko dafa am criteria yu ñu lay laaj because da nga war a am technical competence pour undertake that activities mooy sa technical war nga koy am ak financial competence pour dugga si liggéey boobu ne du liggéey boo xam ne liggéey caaxaan la du nekk ku nekk moo ko am da nga war a am financial competence soo demee ba balaa ñu lay pousse pour wax ne demal foofu loi bi lu mu wax section 3 of the Mines and Quarries Act mu ne mineral resources reside with the state mooy state bi moo ko moom waaye si fu mu nekk xaj na suuf soosu am na ku fa sampal néeg oo ku fay bay oo ku fay jëfandiku balaa government di ko joxe dafay bëgg ñu yëgal ko su dee kooku dina lose because of yaa ngi dem foofu dafa am lu ñuy wax compensation in accordance with section 85 of the act dañ koy ndàmpaay because yow soo ñëwee pour use foofu dañ koy xañ moom lu mu doon am waaw te government def na gis ne sooy xañ nit lu mu doon am yooyu itam war nga koy ndàmpaay so dañu jël ay criteria su dee gis nañ ne mineral booy ut o boo bugg a mine mu fa tamit suñ demee ba gëstu yooyu yëpp nga am consent of the land owner o su dee community bi la nga am consent bi tamit dañ lay ebal si National Environment Agency ñu seet ndax liggéey boobu du lor environment bi torop mining in general is destructive waaye sustainable mining that's the slogan of this ministry nañ make a win-win situation where post mining land bi dinañ ko use for other things so dinañ la ebal si National Environment Agency ñoom tam am na ay gëstu yu ñuy def with other stakeholders ñu gis ne ndax mining mun naa dem within the environment so there are criteria soo demee ba at the end nga am yooyu yëpp si lay government su dee mining la la ñu make recommendation pour ministre bi signal la te mining lan si su dee quarrying tamit basically loolu la waaye lu ma doon bëgg a différencier rek mining and quarrying dañ uute su dee mining la da ngay njëkk a def gestu bi soo ko paree da ngay wane da ngay toog government bi ngeen seet ndax léegi mineral resource bu fa nekk jar na di ngeen ko mën am na economical value balaa ngay dem si mining phase bi ministre waxoon na ko si sànq si introduction bi soo demee exploration ba pare gestu rek la pour xam resources bu fa nekk xaw ma ndax answer naa ko very well.
Change.
The question is, there's varying prices from different stations.
Yeah, Lord, what are so I'll be very surprised, please. Maybe if you can intervene.
Yeah, if I may add on to that. Petroleum price mo one tega la mo fumo waxe moy petrol bi last month fu nekk fa la nekk this month waaye diesel bi boobu dafa yokk waaye lu ko war a yokk sax yokkuñ ko loolu dañ ko subs ba léegi wax may def ko subsidier moo tax mu toll fu mu toll loolu waaye ëppoon na loolu waaye lu ko xona mun sa wax mooy ne dañu price modèle bu ñu am dafa am international price yi dafa dugal foreign exchange nga dugal everything modèle bi so suñu defee loolu dinañu war la war a nekk price bi boobu kenn defu fa dara kenn yokku fa dara mooy lu war a am waaye suñu demee ba gis ne price bi am na fu mu toll dina xala loor nit ñi boo xam ne si leen dee ñëw nguur gi jëm koo wàññi tuuti subsidise ko pour mu sonal nit ñi waaye lu xew léegi mooy ne pétrole bi yokkuñ ko si weer bi waaye diesel bi yokku na si weer bi différence boobu.
waaw yes ngay wax ne am na petrol station xam ne moom ñoom seen boss is up for diesel. ba am na nga xam ne moom seen boss yokku so loolu moom ma jaaxal.
waaw loolu I think su ñoo def seen discount. waaw petrol station bi am na nag pour ñu joxee seen discount. waaw waaw ñoom mun nañoo ñoo ne waaw nañ bugg a def $1 si cheaper pour customer bi mun a jënd ciment ñoom am nañ def price pour def seen discount waaye joxe price bi moom nii la fa taajoo diesel bi moo change na this month pétrole bi mu ngi still stay where fu mu nekkoon because si international market bi pétrole bi dafa wàññeeku diesel bi dafa yokku.
kon loolu baax na pour mun a.
Assalamualaikum. Ngamol be kontra jang minister kontra mo marata kurani jiyo ni kol bela. Ndede nga nyini kalen den soto me alon ko yo ba falla hakil to man tan e wati ka ko ron beta mo le so do ka futa ayala kurang bi jele tele polo sa nga connect la do to anata ila firjo mu kata so ina dara hadi jam fande ya fajat so ina da transmitter sambana media kurang so do wala ka kurang so do normal bal do lol maso.
Oil drilling have been conducted but without discoveries. Could you clarify to us what specific technical or geological methods have you employed to increase of 500 meters from Senegal borders?
Ask me a question about what we are working on. There's a particular village within the GBA, so the guy, and that is part of our discussions right now, to be able to electrify their communities. So with your permission, I'll just tell him now we are working on something with you to be able to electrify that community. With the Economic Councillor, and that's the People's Republic of China, are also working with us to support us to electrify 44 communities within the Greater Banjul area. And Tintinto has been identified to be part of that. Because nimeni be do ko lafta wala ya faham wala be ñinte ko ke kanne and ning Chinese government be do ko la ifran ibo lafta la kam makoy be kurang janja diro menke kan gambe banko kan comme président lafta la ñame la fa sol be le suke so Tintinto bo dol la kono la andu ngawa ida dum le ñi projet ko menga ning Chinese government ba do ko kan pour kaje pa France courant set no before end of 2026 and sala go bekala kaje do kol men bebe ke kam be transmission line on min be construct kan do ko mambang yalo development is a gradual process a be boka ke no signakili demande ne kata kol be ke kan ñim banko ko ni yalo nun courant be dikra dantan dinaton bani ajibe sayen courant janjanta dal berato ayatina ko molla sulo faran kaftale non to ni tara ko da jama kon mi da kelen wala katare je friji kelen e sutio da mala bu ko na fana katare wol bar say ni tara ko dal kon la e a condition de la bet frijo mo bela bu ko ngol be tuba wer sa electrical ay be ko lo use ayatina demand ni increase ta bucket so ni kada ko be ke ka wala ka je ko nga courant sembo warandi at the same time fanan ala quality fanan improve bare demande ne because la do ko nyin ada ko le batale ko den dinte so na ni mol diama sa e ni ko di ba men bedi gambe e fen ko la gambe government pour que courant sembo war hali say courant problème ma solve bam ko do nyin ka ndole be men ke ka ning sunata men ni ngo sodo num courant ta yawo ban nañu banko kan ba yalon e ko yaade kuto dongo diata e bari amante o sa so menna ko kala le kaje ko nga kafunyo kan kaje ko courant la qualité ni nga improve and every day nga ñu projet ko même be foto e nata proposer support kaje ko na programme système normal so be dan la dro ngal hakka dani ale sabra utanye demanding na be nyamena 2017 amantar wonya sai abe nyamen 2018 akafta 2019 akafta so demanding na by the time mbe futala ko mi nga hameda menna modo ba fanya ko kaspa dala ko la da bari courant on and off ko man so abaraka bati
pada masa kuna sama ko ofta dia so bari pada ko dogo di bantala bankol to le ko Senegal ani Guinea saka Guinea da so Guinea da ay mero ka da dia da kan mas kuna ka ko mi kan oye biji oye biji fara ko be da do construct ko ka de ko
in relation to the question about the technical or geological, to answer that question, the existence or whether there is oil or not in a particular place has been decided millions of years ago by nature. Nature, through geological processes, creates or forms oil on the ground. So that decision has been made millions of years ago all over the world. What we do is to locate that oil. And there are, very well established methods and techniques of finding that oil all over the world. It's just similar to, diagnosis of, for example, malaria. Yeah, diagnosis of, say, malaria. There are very well established all over the world of diagnosing almost every disease nowadays. Similarly, the steps or the technical steps required to look for oil are very well established, and they are globally applied. That is what has been going on in the Gambia, like Honorable said, resulting in the drilling of 2 wells over the past 5 years. In order to, before a well is drilled, to attracting investment in the petroleum sector, when companies want to look at the prospects or the possibilities of investing in a particular country, the first thing they ask for, is the level of data acquisition in that country. Honorable said, we have gotten that data. We have gotten good quality data. Once that, data is, available, the companies would normally undertake study, geology and geophysical studies on the data. From the data, it is possible to identify features often associated with petroleum. These features have been used in many parts of the world to, drill wells, and those wells found oil. So the question around whether we have oil or not can be answered with the simple, response that the features that are required, the geological features that must be present for oil to be found, have been found in the Gambia. That is why we believe we have oil, and we are not alone in that belief. Many oil companies with, hundreds of years of experience have similar belief. He mentioned BP acquiring the license a couple of years ago. BP had been doing this over, decades or generations, and have perfected, the techniques of finding oil. For them to come into a particular country, they must be convinced that there is oil. Because when they come, they end up spending tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a joke. They are people's investment. So for such companies to come into the country with all the, human resources, the capacities, the technologies, they must believe that there is oil. So geologically, there is nothing preventing us, to answer your question. Geologically, the elements or factors or the petroleum system have been already confirmed that it exists in the Gambia. In terms of techniques, I said it. No technique is stopping us from finding oil. Looking for oil it's a lengthy process, repetitive process. Countries have drilled for decades, some have drilled for generations, drilled for centuries, looking for oil. In Senegal, for example, Senegal have been exploring or drilling wells since 1956 or so. It is only in 2014 that they made, a major oil discovery. So, and this is similar to Ghana. Ghana started earlier. Ghana made a first discovery, I think, in 2010 or 2007. So, the fact that you haven't found it yet doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Yeah, what is important are the presence of fundamental geological features often associated with oil. We have those ones in the Gambia. So there are no geological factors preventing us from finding oil. All we need to do is to, and hopefully we'll find oil. Honorable said, 2 wells over the past 4 years, compared to many countries in the region, is a huge achievement. Not many countries have done to exploration of the Senegal. When they acquired it from the discovery in Senegal, they came into Gambia to explore the same extended into the Gambia. They came to the only question, the question of you starting across the
country to build what we call the foundations of development, which are called the 3 I's: infrastructure, institutions, and the instruments. Across all the sectors, energy, education, healthcare, road infrastructure, you name it, the President is building the foundations of transformative development. With the challenges you are facing, population growth. In 2010, only 54% of the population live in urban Gambia. Today, 65% of the population in urban. But urban Gambia was not built to house 65% of the population, particularly to meet their energy needs. So that's a clearly challenge. But also our lifestyles. 10 years ago, we were not using microwaves, electric irons, kettles, these big TV screens. So we've changed our lifestyle. And this planning should have been done by the previous government. Now this government is building the foundations. So the next generation will not have what they call electricity problem. When I was growing in the Gambia, we used to call GUC Gambia Useless Corporation. Then they brought MSC, we said Munge Soga Gara. I don't know if you remember that one. But nobody is giving such names to NAWEC because NAWEC is performing. They are delivering. So thank you, Minister, and your team. That's it for today's Mansa Kunda. Thank you for coming. The ministers present today, our diplomatic corps, partners, senior government officials, thank you. This is Mansa Kunda. Next week, on the 22nd, not today is the 15th, is Sangmari Sono Mansa Kunda. 22nd, we have the Ministry of Interior to come and talk about internal security. Mbadi ngol ala barka baki mbadi tulamba jela di programo kumata dia minister ninkaro jabi ay kacal wolong ala minister min ka kam pour kayo korangoni jopunda nga kafu molti korangoni josoto ngalo be kumata ninkaro kadal ayamoy mbokay di len girim di len santa